Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. What do you think about me dressing up for you guys today? Actually, to be honest, it's a Saturday night, going to a birthday party for my friend Alan. But also, we have mutual friends, including Angela, who's been on the channel, Stephanie, who's been going to be back on the channel, but has a whole playlist dedicated to her on the channel. And then also Kimberly, my hairdresser. So I've been rocking no hats this week. And obviously, if I'm going to see her tonight, I can't be putting a hat on the hairdo she gave me. So anyway, that fun stuff will be on Instagram membership section. I wanted to, real quick before I went out, record the preview to my next video, the intro, which is the third part of the Unison Research Tour. And what I wanted to focus on is, this is going to be a fun part, at least for me, because what I'm going to be telling you in this video and showing you is actual parts of the tour. And I'm curating it to stuff that I really stood out to me and stuff I would buy. And so some takeaways from that. Number one, I'm going to show you a actual speaker stand that immediately caught my eye when I went through the tour of their legacy goods. And this stand that they made for bookshelves is incredible, in my opinion. It's out of production, but as you'll hear, I asked them about it, and they're putting it back in production. So if you don't even have to use the Opera bookshelves. It could fit for any bookshelf, and Source Points, maybe Joseph Audio Pulsars, you know, some really great bookshelves out there. This stand is badass. So that's one thing I can tell you right off the bat I would buy from Opera and Unison. The other thing that is not quite in the tour, although a smaller model is in there, is that 845 Absolute integrated amp. This is a piece that won Absolute Sound Product of the Year, I think all the way back to 1994. Still in production. So badass. It's so cool. But what we did feature in some footage I want to show you is some of their other integrateds further down the line. And for somebody just starting out, their Unico series, man, you're getting Italian pedigree and looks that, you know, people know that they're going to get with Italian goods. But you're getting performance and protections and state-of-the-art stuff that you're not going to see or may not expect from the Italian side of things. The way they protect you from shorting and clipping. This is a very foolproof starter integrated amp that could be, you know, for your end game piece for a long time if you stay in that budget range. There's not going to be much that I would even consider beating it, because you're getting the integrated, the preamp and the DAC combined. Solves all the problems I talked about in my footage video on preamp and amp synergy. It's got the DAC, and price-wise, everything is under $4,000 depending on which model you buy. This is a killer way to get started and be set for a long time with both looks and performance and protection, quality, helping a company that is a small company, you know, not one of these big conglomerates. This checks all the boxes to me. This is a piece I can easily recommend. Also, what you're going to see, and this is some good insights that I would not have known otherwise than going there, you're going to see them talk about their black model, which is kind of their upgraded versions from their standard. And I can tell you, based on listening impressions in their reference room, which I'm going to do in a separate video, we heard the black version, the upgraded version from their standard, which has better parts and a little bit different design for the power supply and other things, the switch, the volume control and inputs. This is worth it. I mean, it was so, sometimes when you're talking about upgraded capacitors or upgraded this, that, and the other, it's very subtle. You can't hear it, or you might have to hear it on niche things. It's not that apparent, the value, and people still spend money for, you know, a bypass cap or a better quality capacitor, all those. This was very evident when we heard the two, to the point where one of the other takeaways I'm going to give you guys, I look at these tours for what I would own, but I also look at them as a small business owner myself. It's like, if I was running Unison and Opera, what would I do differently based on what I saw in there? And it also kind of serves as my constructive feedback from my own perspective. And really, there isn't much I would change what they're doing. The direction they're going and accelerating to and evolving is really thumbs up on everything. But if I were them, it was so drastic, the difference between the black model and the standard model. They say they're going to still carry both, but for that extra $1,000, I personally wouldn't even still offer the standard model. It's so much better, the black, that I fear that if I was owning the company, that people would review the standard model and then the black, and it wouldn't be delineated for search engine results or whatever, and people might have an impression of the standard different than the black without knowing that nuance, which is a very important nuance. I would just sell the black, and as a recommendation to you guys, buy the black upgrade in any of the electronics they offer it in. So that's a couple of takeaways. Some other footage in this video I'm going to share with you. And still to come is going to be music clips and my feedback on more of the speaker range. I have some honest feedback on that as well. So stay tuned, sign up, subscribe, and I'll see you back here soon.
Do something with the stand with you next to the speaker. Talk about the stand. Which I'm always beating you up to make this speaker stand.
So I was looking, they're very impressive, but this particular one is brilliant because from a side it looks thin, and then you've got the two, and it almost looks like it would not support the speaker because it's forward orientated, but it's really brilliantly, you're hiding the thickness here so people don't think it's as thick, and then you've got the wings here. This is very stylish for a speaker stand.
This is the previous stand that we did for the Linea Classica,
okay.
And it wasn't the idea of my father. My father has a lot of idea when he was looking at the things around. So if you consider, he created this line of speaker, okay, this is a really funny story. He created this line of speaker because one day he was in the toilet changing a lamp, and he see the toilet from the top, and I say,
I see that.
I can do like that. I can do the speaker.
I see that.
He was talking with Giampiero. He called Giampiero after going to the toilet. I said, Giampiero, I just out of the toilet and I was thinking something. Giampiero said, you go in the toilet and you're thinking of me.
But I see the inspiration here.
Yeah, exactly. So, and this one was that one, and they measure for the reflection inside, and it
works good. A toilet.
And we created this line. So for that one,
what happened here?
When we went to the wood manufacturer, he say we need to do a stand. And the problem of the stand is always the same. You know, if it's too heavy, it's difficult to transport. It costs a lot of money for transport the stand. All the stand looks more or less the same. So how we can do something different? And when they were making the Tebaldi, the black loudspeaker, okay, they say, but if we cut it by slice and we put it one in the other side, how we can do a stand? I say yes. So they try and they make the stand. So this one is exactly the size of the Tebaldi, this black loudspeaker.
So the size.
Yes. If you see, this curve is the curve of the of that one, and they cut it like slice.
Oh, so the bracing inside.
Exactly.
That's brilliant. Do y'all still make it?
No, but we are going to make it again for the new line. So that
put me down for one of those. That's brilliant. Can you do like different colors of the wood?
Used to be different color. Used to be cherry, mahogany, and black.
Okay.
The new one it will have a metal base. Okay.
Metal.
Just for give more stability to the stand. And yes, we will do it.
I love it.
In the next line. Yeah.
No, I mean that caught my eye big time. And I love this combination.
Yeah,
if you had this with that stand, with the black and white, that would just be insane.
But you will see the finish of the new speaker. The bagno giù in ufficio, dritto. Okay.
So think of this, guys.
Keep going on, and there is the
black and white, and then stay with me here, guys. Imagine this really cool stand, very innovative, white, black, with that on top of it. That would be killer. Anyway, hope you're enjoying, guys. It's a beautiful piece. And you just need a big rack for this. Will this fit on a standard size rack? Is this for a normal rack? What's the width on this? The width. How long is this? Okay. Just so people know it will fit on their racks or not, because it's so beautiful. You would want to put this top rack.
I'd like to show you this amplifier from inside. It's very interesting.
Okay.
because thank you. It has one tube for channel. There is as you can see, there's a lot of transistors that handle the MOSFET that drive the power transistor.
Right.
And the power supply comes from here, and this board, as you can see, work like a very strong wire to carry the current from here, and there is the power capacitor very close to the output stage, so that the slew rate is very high,
you don't want it to
and
travel
the capability
distance.
exactly. And we put two more boards only to carry the power supply near to the output.
67, 67. 20. Okay, that's smart. But you're using a board to do it.
Yes, a board to carry the signal. Then we have a relay on the input signal. This unit have a digital potentiometer.
Okay.
And the step of this chip is set to work like a logarithmic potentiometer.
Interesting.
And so there is also many features that you can set. For example, you want to use this amplifier for your central channel of the home theater. You can set the volume and the channel you choose. You plug this, and then every time you want to use this for home theater, you have only to push a button, and you connect at the proper volume you set it, the input you set, so that you
it will remember it.
Exactly.
So that's smart for home theater.
You explain better than me.
But that's good for an integrated to be able to do that for your home theater. You can basically have the home theater bypass issues addressed.
It says the dark side, and then subwoofer output 2, monitor, tape, and so on.
Yeah.
And
so you've got a monitor into
the display, little display that set the volume that you are placing.
Okay.
Very
impressive.
You can also to switch off the power supply and keep the tube on, so that the tubes keep warm.
Okay.
Keep warm.
What is the price point on this one?
Costo di quelli dell'Unico 2? About the price you have to talk to our distributor.
The retail price for the Unico 2?
Retail price for the Unico 2 is 3,000. I think it's 399.
That's actually good. What kind of power does it have?
Because the Unico Primo is $19.99. The Nuovo is $29.99, and the Due is $39.99. So $1,000 between each product.
And so, how much power you get from this integrated?
This one is, if I remember correctly, $90
Really?
The maximum achievable is 244, and 44 in 4 ohms. And when you use too much, there is a current sensing that allows the customer to exceed a power level.
Okay.
And then if the volume is too high, and if you are requiring too much power, time to time
it'll shut it down.
Slow down the volume, not shut down.
It'll actually turn it down for you.
Okay, turn down the volume for you before it
Really?
ends.
Okay, that's smart.
You can also short circuit the output, and the volume go down, and it doesn't break.
Oh, so you can't short it. That's,
yes, it's very useful in the listening room. When
that's awesome. No, that's good.
Yeah, so basically this is the third one up the line in the Unico series.
But 100 watts in the 8 is going to be plenty for most people.
Yeah, and even the base model, the Unico Primo, is 90 watts per channel.
So this is really an integrated, people are done at 30, and then you basically also have the home theater bypass.
You do.
And you've got short circuiting protection, clipping protection for a new person. This is a killer piece.
Yeah, because maybe your child make a party.
Yeah.
So do you have short circuit protection on the Primo?
I don't know. know actually. Does the Prima and the Nuovo have the short circuit protection?
Yes, but it's another kind of protection. They shut up and they start blinking.
Also goes in like protect.
It's always better to prevent short circuit, but in case it starts to blinking, go in protection mode.
Okay.
This one slow the volume because it uses electronic potentiometer.
But it's very much like you could buy just this.
Yeah.
And you also have phono on board, and
Right.
you have USB DAC.
Right.
So it's a single box.
That's what I'm saying. For that money,
Yeah.
you've got a lot of protection for a new person, but even experienced people short their stuff.
Yeah. And again, you know, couple all of that with made in Italy and
Well, yeah, the faceplate's going to have the other
responsibly sourced.
parts here.
Yes.
Yeah. This is going to look really. And it's got the big.
one black in the listening room, so that you
Oh, we'll get to see one in the listening room.
This is a good sweet spot, I think, in the line. Yeah. Nice. So for the black upgraded edition coming.
So we starting inside because everybody knows that outside is just changing maybe the color of the wood and the knobs and the plate and the valves, but not just that things. So we start from inside. That there are much changes. This is not meaning that the previous line it was not good, but we would like we try to do something better. To take from the standard edition. In fact, the two lines will remain in the catalog: the standard line and the black edition line. The price difference in the US is going to be between 500 to 1,000, depend of the model, because we have three models: the Simply Italy and the Tri 25 and the S6. What Alessio is explaining you now for the product is something that you will find in almost all these three products for the black edition. Okay.
And the goal was to have a lower noise floor to achieve even the little detail of the music. And we want also to extend the bandwidth and, if possible, to achieve a little more power. So that we use the solution that we use in the reference series and in the bigger series to have the better performance for the black edition. I take some example. This is the board for standard X6. Input selector is a simple switch, and this is the input selector for black edition. It's a very different thing. So we use this relays that connect the ground, only the ground and the signal you are listening to. The other are closed in a little resistor over there, so that if there's some music here and you are listening here, the music still here and doesn't affect the other.
A crosstalk.
Right. Crosstalk, exactly. And the signal pass only on this board, from this to the connector, or better, the solder plate, where when we solder the coaxial cable. And on this board is only to switch the relay, so there's no signal that passes through this connector. From this went to the potentiometer, and the connector is different. Previous version used that kind of connection for audio. This is the new black edition use a solder point and the coaxial cable.
Ah, coaxial cable.
Because inside the amplifier there's a lot of electromagnetic field due to the high power of the amplifier, and so that to achieve a slower possible noise, we have to use the better cable that for the signal.
Protects against RF and all that stuff.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. This is the low voltage power supply of standard edition. This board in the standard series feed the filament and the other the motor of the potentiometer and something else. This is the same board for the black edition.
Oh, wow.
We choose to split the power supply, one for each load, so that we have one power supply for the filament of the signal tube, one power supply for the microprocessor and the volume control, one other power supply for the analog part for the DAC, and another more for the digital part of the DAC. The DAC is inside all the Black series. Have USB input up to DSD 256,
Okay.
Toslink and SPD signal. And this place very close to the input board, so that the signal are always keep together in the same place.
Oh, okay.
There's no cable that travel all around the amplifier.
And what chip are you using again for the DAC?
Excuse me? The 1918, della Sabre DAC.
Oh, the ESS Sabre? Okay.
Sabre DAC.
Yeah.
And okay, we design over there also a premium power supply for the bias that we use here. The older one, S6, before this one, that we see in the other room, used to be all outputs 100% auto bias.
Okay.
The first evolution was the standard model that use auto bias a little, and then power supply for the bias that the user can set.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But the problem is that the resistor dissipate heat and power from the tube. And the capacitor is not so good for the sound, so it have always its own sound, and cause shifted in phase at low frequency and limited the bandwidth.
Okay.
So that we cut off capacitor and resistor. Now this one is 100% bias setted by the user without auto bias. So that removing the resistor, we achieve 15% more power. This is 35 watt for channel.
35.
The black edition 14. Is a good improver for an amplifier.
Sorry, so how much watts is the black edition?
14 watt.
14.
14.
40.
40.
Oh, 40. Okay, gotcha.
40 instead of 30.
30,
Sorry
okay.
for my English.
No, I just wanted to make sure. So 30 and 40.
And
Got
40.
it.
And then, without the capacitor, we extend the frequency responder up to 5 Hz. The standard version achieve 15 Hz, 15 Hz,
Okay.
from lower frequency. And another important, we use a premium capacitor from Mondorf between the stage. We redesigned the PCB layout with a star grounding system, as you can see there. And every triad have his own power supply, his own capacitor, so that there's no crosstalk between the preamplification, the driver stage, and there is the better performance. Every trial works in like it was alone, without interference from the other from the other triad. But the main goal is that the standard series S6 at the maximum volume have 5 millivolt of noise. It's a good result. When we designed the first prototype of this one, we achieved 3 millivolt of noise at the maximum level. That was a good result.
Yeah.
With the pre-series, this board have 1 millivolt on.
Oh, wow, even less.
It's almost like a solid state.
wow.
So you can use even very high efficiency loudspeaker. You can you have more power, more
Lower distortion.
low distortion even too, because we use KT77 Genelex. It is a premium tube. We use also in the preamplification stage.
Oh, okay.
Instead of standard version we use AL34 and Tungsol tube ACC83.
Okay.
And so we achieve more performance, quieter amplifier, and extended bandwidth.
Okay.
This is about X6, but there is many important evolution also in Simple Italy. Simple Italy standard use auto bias. In this case, we want to, in the black version, we want to don't use auto bias, so that we design a circuit that sense the current and set the bias voltage of the tubes. So to make an example, this is standard, Simple Italy standard. This is the schematic. Easy. This is the schematic of Black Edition. And we can do this because there is only 2 tubes. We can't do it the circuit only 6 because there will be a board too many bigger. And so there is a resistor and sensing, and the sensing without any capacitor and very little resistance sense the current that flow in the tube, drive the power supply, and the power supply set another the current of the tube. Sorry. So that if the tube is cold or hot or new, the current is still always the same. And so is our goal is to obtain amplifier that where the tube life is long, because there's no obvious the set is set itself at the proper working condition, so that even when you require more current, the working point is still stable, very stable. With the auto bias, the capacitor have to compensate so that it's not so perfect. Electronic is a perfect way to set the current. There is another big improvement that make Mr. Sacchetti. This is the standard transformer of Simplicity. 2 winding primary winding and 2 secondary winding.
2 primary and 2 secondary on the standard.
Exactly. And this is the transformer for Black Edition. We use the same technology that we use in Simply 8045. Only is a little. And so that we have 5 primary primary winding and 4 secondary winding. So that magnetic flux stay closer to the winding, and you listen all the detail of the music. You transfer all the power that can be transferred without loss, because the loss in a magnetic field causes a loss in power and loss in detail. And even the bandwidth is a bit bigger, because the solution improves a lot the performance of the transformer. So Simply Italy Black Edition is the best that we can do with a single end, a single tube. The same solution is in Trider 25. The goal is always the same. It will be a little power than the previous one, a little quiet, and so the music itself is different. I think you will see the different aesthetically, but there is a different solution inside.
But for $500 to $1,000, it's almost like, is anybody going to buy the non-black edition, because you're gaining 30% more power, lower noise?
It depends on the market.
Okay.
Maybe it is too expensive to other market.
Okay.
The other market doesn't like the black, for example. And
is this one upgradable after the fact? But so you have to make that decision.
It's made different because also the tubes, the transformer is different, because standard transformer we use is designed for a that is slightly different. Also the working condition is like different.
Okay.
So that is a special edition tuned for special.
Gotcha.
To be understandable. For any question, I'm here.
Very interesting.
About having to try some new
finishes.
Oh, okay. Here you go.
So we've got.
So that's not wood.
It is not. Well,
yeah,
it's a veneer. Yeah,
a veneer.
Well,
a veneer, but yes,
but it's not really even trying to imitate.
It's not
wood.
trying to imitate wood at all.
It's
like
actually
a stone
material.
Stone,
sort
right?
of stone.
It's trying to imitate slate.
And
oh,
a white version.
Yeah, this is actually cool.
And a black.
This is actually the American market. It may resonate with them more.
I think it'll resonate very well.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one for America, I think, because it's not
stark white. Yeah.
Which I actually kind of like, and a lot of people apparently kind of like. But I wonder if this like turns the volume down one click,
just a little bit,
and allows you to go.
Well, you know why? It also fits the leather. Because
true.
You see how it picks up the leather.
Yep.
It's kind of like when you're matching your couch to the wall color. You're actually picking up this here. And so, like you say, it almost looks like super intentioned and not as stark a contrast.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is cool. This slate, though.
Further with the lighter, good.
That's good.
Okay.
These sensors, man,
And then here's some of the.
Makeup for
Here's a one of the woods they're leaning towards.
Okay.
It's between that and.
Well, this in the American market, a lot of people have gone with shabby chic. And
I just showed him my floors, and it matches beautifully with the knobby.
Is Texas, you know.
Yep. Yeah, this is what he showed me originally.
No, this
is just too old school, man.
Yeah.
And then he went upstairs for me and got the actual sample boards, like that and this, and so those are 4 that we were
now here's another
communicating
question.
about.
Back to your soul note conversation.
Yep.
Is this a switchable panel?
No, not gonna know.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of a good idea if that's where you're going with this.
Well, because you could say, hey, I'm going to buy these now.
Yeah.
But what if I move and I'm in a...
Bartolomeo.
Or yeah, you're right. It would be a nice...
Decent question, I think.
Yes.
Is there a way in the future to make this a removable panel?
Or is it structural?
Is it a structural part, or would it be something that could be...
We are studying that. There is one main problem with the loudspeaker, that the loudspeaker must be a seal box.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the idea that we can have, it's inside, we are found some way to remove it and give just one little hole, and with this hole with the rubber inside, that when we fix it from inside, okay, it can be removable. This is the idea that we have for the future.
What if it was a like a grill that's magnetic? What if the side panels were magnetic?
We can do it, that one. The problem is that we need to do the loudspeaker more thick, because we need to have the structure that is fixed.
That's right.
And this one is just the cosmetic part that you...
Because you got to factor in all the work you've done internally. But yeah, this is actually really cool finishes we were just talking about for the American market.
It almost looks like concrete.
Yeah, it's like a slate type.
Yeah, I like that.
And then over here, it's kind of a... It's picking up the leather kind of vibe here.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually, I don't see it here, but there was actually some sort of slate, like a green and sort of brown slate texture that would work really cool on that, almost like a
and then this
tile.
for the this is a lot of people in their home are going with this, especially in the South, Texas. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Like anywhere the coast.
And shabby chic houses. Yeah, they're gonna want that. Very nice.